Hey guys, thank you for joining Big Al's Big Nerd Show. I am on episode 2 of Wrath of the Righteous. Now, Sam here got knocked all the way down here, and I didn't pause it in time, so you'll just have to believe me that for a few seconds he had Featherfall on him, which is probably the only reason that he didn't fall 60 feet to his death, seeing as how he's level 1. But as to how exactly that happened, Sam's wondering, but he's just gonna keep it in mind for now. Ooh, look! Other people who didn't get Featherfall. Ooh, look! Dead girl. Nope.
Holy mother of...
Hurt girl. Holy mother of. Yeah, she's not having a good time. Despite her picture here, you'll notice the picture doesn't cover the legs. That's because there is a big-ass rock on her leg.
Hey, stay with me. You actually got pretty lucky. You fell down into a black hole. But at least you're not on your own. You've got a great companion. Everything's going to be just fine. Tell me something. Can you feel your legs?
'Cause I can feel your legs. Now, you gotta wonder how exactly she came out of it just fine, but we'll get there.
Feel 'em all right. When say no to a little less feeling in 'em. My ankle's killing me, but my back seems to still be in one piece. My head, too.
Hey, she's alive.
That's all that matters. Now, we're going to... Hey! Fancy meeting you down here. You're the one that Terendelev healed today, right? You aren't injured, are you? Will you help me get her out from under the boulders?
So, there are several ways I can get her out of the boulders. I don't have anything for athletics, I have very little for knowledge world, and honestly, I'm not evil. Well, Sam. But, you know, Sam does believe in helping people as he's able to, and he figures there are probably a lot of people going through a bad time, given that there was a giant chasm opened in the middle of town. So he's going to do what he can. Let's see if it works. And it rolls the dice, and... Hey, I succeeded and got some bonus experience for succeeding.
Damn it all.
Just about every skill check, you get bonus experience.
Oh well, I've had worse. I'll just make myself a splint out of something. Thanks for the help. I wouldn't have lasted long on my own stuck under there. I'm Inevia Tirabade, of the Eagle Watch. I was overseeing security at the festival square. I thought maybe spies or demon worshippers might have something nasty planned. What actually happened, though, now that I did not see coming. I don't think anyone could have been prepared for that.
Yeah, Sam was not expecting a giant locust dude.
Well, I'm Sela, paladin by the grace of Iomade. I crossed the whole continent to come to Mendev and fight demons. And well, I've been fighting for a while now.
Ah, she's a paladin, so that's how she got down
I
here.
want to think what might be happening up there in the city. Canabres has lost the protection of Terendelev, and of the Wardstone too, looks like. It's a relic without equal. It was placed here personally by Iomade's herald, with the goddess's blessing. I really wanted to go see it, to pray before it. But there's no point worrying about a stone when there are people dying in the streets.
She has, the right perspective when it comes to that, in my
things
opinion.
are looking grim enough, but don't lose heart. Wardstone or no, dragon or no, Canabres will never give in. Simple as. Well, we've introduced ourselves. What about you?
And, Sam could give a lot of answers, but he still doesn't know what's going on. He just showed up in a city, he was dying, then he's not dying, and then he falls into a cave, so he's just gonna say, my name is Sam.
Good to meet you. Now, tell us all about yourself.
Sam, I am.
Whoa, girl. Slow down. Exchanging names is enough for now. We don't have time to be swapping life stories. We need to find a way out of here.
Finding a way out of there sounds great.
Now then, I'll hobble my way out of here somehow. The city ain't far, only 30 paces or so. That's if you're going straight up, of course. I'm afraid we're gonna have to go the long way round.
Okay, so they're only 30 feet underground, not like 60.
To summarize, there are 3 of us with 5 working legs, 3 pairs of decent hands, 2 clear heads, and 1 made of wood. That's mine. Underground monsters beware! Inevia, you stay behind us. You're in no fit state to fight. If we do come up against anything, the 2 of us will try to manage on our own first. Well, onward! May the good deities lead us back to the open sky soon.
That sounds fair. And you don't get her in your party because she has a broken leg, but you just saw her haul butt over to there. You know, make of that what you will. I'm going to go with the... You know what, I'll go with the triangle formation because I am lazy. I was going to go with a 6 in a row, but
Time's not
poor
waiting.
Sam does not... Well, yeah, he does not have her level of defense. Part of that is because right now he doesn't have a shield, and even when he gets a shield, he is still far less defended. Now, there's a Cloak of Resistance. He figures if he's sending her in first, she deserves to have it. Let's see. Was there anything else? Nope. Okay, we're going on. Ooh, what do we have? It's loot! My favorite word. Hey, it's one of Turendalev's scales. So she might have left scales all over the place considering she got her head cut off.
Follow my...
Okay, ooh, another person.
Who's there?
The final peril of this young half-elf is torn and stained. Now, you remember, she was the one who didn't want to gather somebody to, you know, help Sam not die. So, immediately he's like, oh, hey, great. Oh, well, at least it's somebody else alive. Except at her body, or at her feet, lies a dead body so mutilated that it's hard to tell if it's an animal or a human. I see the shoes. I think it's a human.
Relax, friend. We're not demons or cultists. Don't poke my eye out with that thing, all right? We fell down here during the attack. I'm Sela, that's Anevia, and this is our new friend. We're looking for a way back to the surface.
Not how Sam might have started the introduction, considering there's a dead person there, but, you know, maybe they died from the fall.
Really? I'm so ever glad to hear it. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Camellia. I was also in the square when... I can scarcely believe it. How did all those demons get into the city? I thought, naively it now seems, that the Wardstone protected us from attack. And Turendalev, I can't wrap my head around it.
But, honestly, Sam's main concern is, what happened to this poor man?
He must have been in the square when disaster struck. I tried to revive him, but he was already dead, sadly.
He didn't get these wounds from the fall. Be on your guard. Whatever killed him likely hasn't gone far.
Maybe not far at all. Sam's Inquisitor senses were tingling.
Hang on. I think I know him. His name's Aravashniel, the egghead from the library. He was a good lad, even if he was kind of stuck up. May his soul rest in peace.
He worked at a library. Libraries are terrifying things. They have so much power. But actually, a library might be Sam's solution. It is a shame that this guy died. Now is probably not the best time to interrogate her, and I'm not sure that I want her in the party, considering that she's here with this mutilated guy, and she's like, oh, I don't know, and she's got her sword there and everything.
That's right. It would be the height of foolishness to survive a demon attack only to perish under a pile of rubble.
Are you coming with us then?
Wait,
The
what?
more the merrier, and that blade of yours is nothing to sniff at.
We're taking her with?
Certainly. Survivors should stick together. It's only sensible. Who knows what else could be prowling about in these caves?
I mean, well, I guess Sam should give her the benefit of a doubt. That's a little bit questionable, but, you know, maybe he died before the fall. Maybe the demons poked him to death and whatnot, and she... Well, who knows. Either way, everybody else wanted her there, and Sam was a newcomer, so this was not the time for him to question things. He didn't want to be left out here alone.
Let's see if this poor bloke has anything useful on him. Not to sound like a heartless brigand or nothing, but we kinda need all the supplies we can get right now.
Sam had a friend who taught him the true value of looting the dead. Looting the dead was a good idea, because it's not like the dead were going to need it.
As it should be.
Oh, what do we have here? We have a young giant centipede.
The inheritor, guide
So,
my blade.
at the beginning, I am just going to go
The
through
light, take
pause, well, real time with pause, because otherwise these battles take forever. And I don't want to spend 45 minutes going through the sewer. You will notice they swing valiantly, and you'll notice that Samuel keeps missing, but everybody else hits. That's because Samuel is a little bit rusty. That's totally the only reason. Ooh, more loot! It's another one of Tyrandalov's scales. Well,
Save the last one for
what
me.
do we have here? It's a giant fly. Holy cow, it's a big old fly.
Into the fray.
Let's zoom in. Look at this thing. This thing is a fly the size of a large dog. Let's compare fly to paladin. Check that out. It is larger than the paladin. This is a fly that you can almost ride on. And they just run up and attack it like it's no big thing. And this creature back here gets sneak attack damage on that fly. Oop.
The inheritor,
Centipedes.
guide my blade.
I'll get
And
you
more.
wide
Oop,
open.
a spitting giant centipede. That sounds terrifying. If you had like a 4.5-foot long spitting giant centipede, I would lose sleep over that if I ran into one. Largest centipedes I ever run across were like foot long down Albuquerque. Not 4 feet long and not poison spitting.
The heartbeat quickens.
They just want to bite you if you're not paying attention. Okay, and you'll notice that this group is just chewing through these critters. And you'll notice that it looks like the critters chewed through some people. See the skull there? I love this level of detail that I can zoom in with this mod. So here I go. I grabbed some loot from that dead body. Once again, being a little noblish. Just being a little knobby. Okay, and
We draw the first blood.
the monitor
The
lizard.
spirits demand your blood.
Just glad that we're facing the monitor lizard, not the upgraded version of the all monitor lizard. Oh, we tried to skin it, and Sam failed the skinning check, so no loot. What do we have here? It's a person! Yay!
No, I can't just walk away. It's got to be here somewhere.
The stranger looks like the work of a vivisectionist who attempted to stitch together a lizard and a man. In Vime's younger days, he would have immediately seen this person and known that this person was evil and cut him down, but Vimes had lived a long life, and while he couldn't remember the specifics, he seemed to recall that he had learned the hard lesson that people who are drastically different can still be fine maintainers of the law.
Wenduok!
Lan, did you find it? Who is that?
So, here we have the Spider Cat. Spider Cat, does whatever a Spider Cat can. So yes, Cat Spider Girl. She wants to know who I am.
The do-gooder's here to save our mongrel souls, no doubt. Wait, they might know what's going on up there.
Now, Sam knew enough to know that just saying, "Hey, you look goofy, what are you?" could be considered insulting. So he just decided to start with, what is this place?
This is the hall where we remember the glory of our forebears. Sorry about the mess. It doesn't usually look like this, trust me. Sometimes we even wipe the dust off the exhibits.
This is where the relics of the first Crusaders are displayed. Our lives are short. Our glories are quickly forgotten. But this place helps us to remember that we are just as worthy as anyone else. And that our lives are not lived in vain.
Sam kind of liked that.
The first Crusaders? You've been down here that long? That's crazy.
That's none of your bit.
And so I ask what they're doing here, and Wenduok starts all confrontational.
We're looking for a holy sword. It was here, in the center, sticking out of a rock. The sooner we find it, the better. Some kids from our tribe took off for the shield maze. They figured it had collapsed, and now it's their time to go up to the surface, like all the legends foretold.
The shield maze. Wonder what the heck that is.
Except they don't have a clue what's waiting for them up there. They're not fighters. And Saul, the chief of our tribe, is dead set against it. He says that now isn't the time for the underground crusaders to take up arms. If we get the holy sword, we might be able to change the chief's mind.
It's a fool's errand. None of us will be able to hold the sword, let alone use it to save anyone. It's not an ordinary weapon. It's made from righteous heavenly flame, and will burn anyone who touches it. Do you think you're special, Lan?
I'll pick it up with my teeth and tie it to my hand if I have to. It doesn't matter. An angel's sword and a troop of stalwart mongrels will be able to work a minor miracle. Speaking of which, you're still here, Wendu, which means that deep down, you know it's possible.
Aw, maybe she has a soft side underneath the spider cat, obnoxious, suspicious, maybe evil exterior. Maybe that's just him being discriminatory. He hadn't met a lot of spider cats before that still looked kind of human. But what he did know was he didn't want to stay in the, caverns 30 feet underground because they'd already tried to get eaten by giant spiders and giant, other bugs. Yeah. And that did not seem appealing.
Yes. There are other ways up, but they are far from here, and after the earthquakes, there's a good chance they've collapsed. But the maze... There's a legend among our people that when the walls of the maze fall, that will be a signal for us, the underground crusaders, that the time has come to go up to the surface and fight the demons in the final confrontation. Until then, the people say the maze is shielding us from taking rash actions. I'm the only one in our whole tribe to have been in the maze, and even I don't know if it's true. But the further I went in the maze, the fresher the air became. That means that it really must lead to the surface.
When the ceiling and walls started shaking, the young ones in our tribe lost their heads. They figured the maze was going to collapse, so it was time to go up to the surface. They grabbed whatever weapons were on hand and ran off toward the maze. They think the maze is no longer a danger to them. They've been listening to Wendwog too much.
Don't try to blame this on me. Yes, I told them that our people are capable of making our way through the maze. In the future. But I always told them to wait until I had made a map of all the maze's dangers. I warned them 100 times. But it was no use. My words just went in one ear and out the other.
So, honestly, Sam doesn't really care how it got there. And he doesn't really excel at small talk. So he is just there to try and get out of here, and maybe they will help him with that if he helps them find the sword.
Thanks. An extra pair of eyes can only help. The sword will be easy enough to spot. It looks, swordy. Help us, and in return, we'll get you out of here.
They will get him out of there.
Now we're talking. Let's get to work. It's a good thing we all bumped into each other, isn't it?
What, you want to find the sword quickly so the underground monsters bring you back to the surface? So be it.
Okay, and now I look around, and
know
already I see some loot.
Now what is that?
And
This is not possible.
statue of a knight, but he has no idea what's up with it. More loot. It's an old ring.
What do we
Might
have
be worth
here?
money. Money
Fine.
never hurts. Some grinding stones. Naturally, they're there with the rest of the stones. Ooh, a handful of gems. He has no idea how much they'll be worth because he's not exactly a master of gems, but, you know, gotta be worth something. And right now, you might need all the help you can get. Ooh, more grinding stones.
A bright future awaits us.
Can I check across the rubble? Nope. Apparently the relic is somewhere in this area. Ooh, there we go.
Something.
Oh, I see a sword. A glowy sword. How did we not see the glowy sword earlier? You can clearly see the glowy sword. A strange flash pierces the gloom, and Samuel feels drops of searing blood run down his chest. The wound held by Terendelev reopens and weeps scarlet, but there is no pain or weakness. A hazy scene appears. A cave chamber. This one or another one entirely? Samuel's heartbeat quickens, and a stream of thoughts suddenly burst through his mind. Thoughts that clearly belonged to another. Treachery! They betrayed me, trapped me, and stabbed me in the back. My trusted allies, my treasured friends, the people I swore to protect, the people for whom I descended from heaven and came to this turbulent mortal world. There they are, up ahead in the gloom of the cave. What are they waiting for? Are they afraid to draw any closer? Do they believe I'm about to die from their traitorous blows? Next to them, a quiet moan. A girl with a golden braid lies on the rocks, clutching her slashed side. She refused to join with the traitors and paid dearly for it. I could have tried to run, but I will not. While I have strength, I must. While recognizing the foreign origins of the thoughts, Samuel intuits that he can control them somehow. He will try to heal the wounded girl. A spark of healing magic illuminates the eerie, murky scene before Samuel. The wounded girl opens her eyes and whispers, Lariel, you said everything was going to change soon. You said you and the other warriors of heaven would be leaving us on a grand mission to stop the demons forever? Is that true? The frenzy of foreign thoughts comes faster and faster like a rushing river, and images flash by one after another. A priestess in colorful robes observing the stars. A young female paladin praying, clutching her glowing sword. A majestic gold-winged angel gazing into the distance, his face covered by a helmet but his voice ringing clear. Only if you're willing, and only if you're ready. There is no going back. Then don't waste your strength healing me, the girl whispers. Your mission is more important. You take care. It is near. Then, in the vision, the darkness of the cave stirs into motion. Something massive appears within its depths. A vague shadow, an outline, a nightmare come to life. A wave of odious chirruping and rustling emanates from the shadows, the sound piercing like hot irons lancing through flesh and bone. The traitors fall to their knees before the shadow in reverent ecstasy, and the wounded girl thrashes in her death throes. The yawning chest burns white-hot. Samuel's head pounds with pain, and it is no longer clear whose pain it is, the person called Lariel who sent this vision, or the one unlucky enough to receive it. Now, Samuel does not know a blessed thing about magic, but he has willpower. And he succeeds at his check in willpower and gets a little bit of experience. The force of the attack, though originating from a vision, is terrifying, but Samuel is stronger. He shakes off the pain and torpor, but alas, the one who sent the vision cannot claim the same. He is broken and exhausted. A monstrous shadow emerges from the murk of the cave. It is not real. It exists only in the strange vision. But the thrill of fear provoked is more than real. The shadow's features starkly resemble those of Discari, the terrifying demon lord. In a movement as swift as thought itself, the monster's hand is wrapped around the throat of the one they called Lariel. The foolish angel struggling on the rocks, like a fly with its wings torn off. Torn! I swear I speak English. Intones the shadow. Its voice changes as it moves, switching from a quiet whispering to a sonorous shout, becoming young, then old, then quavering. Where is your goddess now, angel? Where is her self-assumed herald? How is it that you are dying here alone so far from the light of heaven? A strange calm envelops the thoughts of the one called Lariel. He recognizes who stands before him, and he knows he will never bow down before this enemy. The flaming sword flares to life in his hand, bright, pure, flickering with multicolored sparks like a sunbeam through stained glass. Slash! The blade slices through the demonic creature's flesh, and the monster recoils with a howl, releasing his grip on Lariel's throat. The angel falls back heavily on the rocks. His vitality is ebbing, but his pride remains undiminished. He grips the sword, and with his last burst of strength, plunges it into the rock. Samuel senses that the vision is fading, the rush of thoughts diminishing like a river running dry. The last thing he hears is this. You will kill me, monster, this I know. But one day someone will come here and rise up my sword. They will raise it up and punish evildoers and traitors. The vision disappears, vanishing with a burst of colors. Sam does not hear the final words, but he seems to complete the thought, taking it to heart. The words fly from his lips, and with them, something else. The heat blazing in Samuel's chest fades away. The edges of the scarlet wound close, leaving not even a scar behind. Looking down, Samuel sees the flaming sword in his hand, or rather, its outline, the memory of what the sword looked like. With a final surge of warm and soothing light, the sword vanishes, and the light is drawn into his hand. Sam senses that it will return. All he needs to do is call it.
Hey, are you all right? You were kinda glowing just now.
That was it. The light of heaven. But how?
What did you do with it? Where did it go?
Sam's gonna be a little honest here, because he's not sure what's going on. I think I saw the memories of Lariel, the angel who died here.
Lariel? That really was Lariel? The angel from the legends. The ancestors even got his name right on the gravestone. The chief will be thrilled.
You. Thousands of gongs, and no one's been able to touch it. And now you, an ordinary creature of flesh and blood, no different to us, get the sword and start talking about visions.
I think the cat spider is jealous.
Now, Wentwog, don't be a sore loser. He is clearly different from us. The sword appeared before him, along with the angel's name and all that other stuff, because he doesn't carry our mongrel taint. Heaven doesn't give a damn how special we are. We're born with evil inside us. Heaven doesn't need to know any more than that.
Sam wasn't terribly comfortable with that conversation. He had talked to some truly wonderful trolls and some truly horrible humans. He wasn't sure that a taint like that existed. Also, taint.
I know you're willing to tear anyone apart to uphold our people's honor, but you and Sol, you just refuse to face the truth. We are the way we are because our ancestors' bodies were corrupted by the Abyss. It does the same thing to plants and animals. There's nothing heroic or special about it. It doesn't make us better, and it doesn't make us worthier.
It seems like I can control it. Whoa!
That is just... wow, I mean, that's amazing. Heaven has truly blessed you.
This power is the most majestic thing I've ever seen in all my life. Is this what the sun is like, Lan?
Yes, it's similar. But this light is more... golden? Chief Sol needs to see this. Now that we have the power of angels on our side, he can't say no. He'll have to assemble a troop to storm the maze. You Uplanders care about your kids, right? Help us save ours. Without them, we won't survive. And then, The perils of the maze won't be so bad if we go together. We'll make our way through it and find the way to Canabras.
Now, Sam did like the idea of helping people, but he didn't like that he had single-handedly, that Lan had assumed that he was going to automatically help. He wanted to see the situation first. So he said, lead me to the chief and I'll decide if I'm going to help you or not.
Let's go. We'll take the short route. Well, the only route, really.
Okay, they're going to help him get out. What?
What do we have here?
The only route takes you across a jump? Well, that's not ideal.
The mongrel did it.
Okay, fortunately,
Get
the
another
mongrel did it.
obstacle.
Oop, and there's a giant spider. Hey, look, it's another horrible monster that I'm facing. Now, I should mention that once a day, Sam gets to make a judgment. He goes full, where is my cow, Judge Dredd. And there are many different things that you can do with the judgment, including get better armor class, get better saving throws, heal yourself in the fight. But honestly, he only gets it once a day, and most of these fights are pretty short, so he is not going to waste it. Although, Camellia here, who is also only level 1, has this ability, Spirit Weapon Enchantment, gives her +1 for the weapon per minute, and she can use it 4 times a day at level 1. So, come on, there we go. And you'll notice they just shoot through those guys. That's why I am not going to play with pause mode. I don't want this video to be like 15 gigs
Follow my
in
lead.
45 minutes.
Thanks, Lan. You're so awesome, Lan.
Man, feels like Lan is underappreciated. Like, he gets no respect. She is hurt. Still level 1. Ooh, she fell! Poor Sela. Oh, but she got back up because it wasn't fatal. Sela should drink one of these potions. Woohoo, look at that.
Now
Don't have
what
many
is
potions.
that?
Ooh, dead body to loot! And they have a wand of cure light wounds. I only got 1 potion, but now I got a wand of cure light wounds with 15 charges. That's nice.
Thanks, Lan. You're so awesome, Lan.
Man, your self-esteem is killing me, man.
As it
You
should
can-
be.
Save the
Oh,
last
more
one for
giant
me.
flies!
This way.
It's a young giant fly, which, you know, doesn't really matter when they're the size of horses. More loot. I'm just gonna blindly grab that. Ooh, a masterwork light crossbow. Not that anybody here right now is using crossbows, but you know, it's nice when you have it.
What's that there?
Oh,
Did we find
and
trouble?
spiders.
No, they did.
And I can't target that spider. Oh,
You
no, I can't.
crossed the wrong mongrel.
Cool. And now I hope my people don't get bit, because Lord only knows what kind of poisons a giant spider has. Ooh, Masterwork Greatsword. That'd be awesome. You know what? Sam can use a greatsword. And look at that thing, and his damage goes up to 6 to 16 per swing. We got a pretty good balance, several melee. Oop. Wendog says, "Listen here, you. I don't know who you are or where you came from, but you and I are the only 2 people here to see things clearly. That's why I'm asking you. Don't show the light of heaven to Saul." Lan is sure the light should be shown to the mongrels. Lan, she grimaces, and a guttural, husky snarl unfurls from her throat. He wants to play the hero. His first idea, if you remember, was to grab the sword and run headlong into the maze. Does that sound like a plan? To me, that sounds like suicide. The worst part is that the tribe might actually take his words to heart and follow where he leads. You see, guys, deep inside, she really is a kind person. Don't you want to save the kids lost in the maze? I do want to, but I'm not going to risk the failure of the tribe for a few stupid kids. As somebody who has kids, she's right. They are stupid. Kids, if you're watching this, I love you. Chief Saul is hesitant, and for good reason. He also understands how dangerous it is for the tribe. Lan's the only one who benefits from these childish games of heroism. I'll go alone if I have to and find them, or whatever's left of them, without any heroics, relying only on myself, risking only my own life. You and your friends, you can come with me. Perhaps we can make it to the end of the maze together and try and find it to the surface. I'll think about it. Don't show the chief the light, and I'll lead you through the maze to the surface. I swear it. See, isn't she such a kind, caring person? She doesn't want to appear that way in front of others, though. And now, we get to Nathal. And look, it's a yurt? Teepee? Tent? Let's call it a tent. And here we are, walking along. And we see a mongrel. And that's nice. Lan and Wendwog are always dragging trash back from the caves. No offense. Thanks.
That is not far.
Sam takes a little bit of offense. That's a jerk thing to say. He's not going to talk to any of the other mongrels until we see the chief. Your first impression of the mongrel village is a squalid dump with the odors to match. Unblinking, glowing eyes watch you from the gloom, and deformed shadows slope between the huts. You see some mongrels gutting white, eyeless fish, while others are repairing fishing nets. All the signs of normal village life, but the tense expectation is in the air. A heavy-set, aged mongrel slowly shuffles his way toward you. The hair on his head grows in limp, wispy strands, and his face has a distinctly rat-like appearance with pronounced teeth, and you hear a rattling sound in his chest with every breath he takes. One of his eyes is white, fully scarred by cataracts, while the other gleams with moisture. Erplanders! Okay, I'm not going to do the accent. End times are upon us indeed. Chief Saul, we found the angel sword, and we found the one who can wield it! Lan points at Sam. He had a vision, and now the angel sword, together with the light of heaven, are somehow inside of him. Gather the tribe and anyone who can hold a weapon. The young ones are still alive, and we can go save them. Yeah, no, Sam can't go along with this. Ah, Lan, always dreaming, always talking. You're too hasty. Too hasty for your own good. It's gonna get you in trouble. An uplander with the light of heaven? That's too good for us. Our kind don't have good things happen. There's always a catch. Lan trusts people because he likes to believe. Isn't that right, Lan? I'm the chief. I don't work on faith. Show the light. Wendwog stares at me patiently like a cat watching a bird and shakes her head in the wind. Now, Sam wants to help, but he's not a crusader. He knows how many innocent people can die because of somebody's ideals. See how they rise up. So he'll help, but he's not going to show the sword. He doesn't even know how the sword works. Wendwog says, at least someone's talking sense. You don't understand. It's a holy light. It'll scare off the monsters that dwell in the maze. Listen, I don't personally believe in this angelic light, but Saul does. Show him. It won't cost you anything. Once again, can't be a crusader. So Sam's gonna have to say that Lan is mistaken. He didn't see the sword. Lan whips around to look at Sam, stunned. He clenches his fist for a moment as if planning to shake the truth out of Sam, but he quickly gets a handle on himself. I don't know why you're lying. No doubt you have your reasons. But I know it's a lie, and you know it. And Wendu knows it. Lan turns to Wendu. Tell him, Wendu. Wendwog stares blankly back at him. I saw the light shining between the rocks, and then it went out. Lan saw what he wanted to see. Why are you doing this? Doing what? Telling the truth? And here, Sam's not gonna lie. I don't want the blood of gullible mongrels on my hands. So now instead, we'll have both the blood of young mongrels in our hands, kids waiting for help that'll never come. Everybody around me said they didn't want to go anywhere or save anyone, but I didn't believe them. I always have to take things further than anyone else. Isn't that right, Chief? Fine. I see how things are. I don't need any more convincing. Lan offers a crooked smile. Yeesh, Lan. Miracles are not meant for us. We are the tribe. We wait. If you're one of us, you will wait. We're not going anywhere. Uplanders, rest now. There's a hut over there. You can rest there. And Wenduog says, you made the right choice. It was the lesser of two evils. And now, rest, so we can be at our best when we go into the maze. I promised to lead you to the surface, and I will. Now, Sam is a little bit concerned because there was a demon invasion going on upstairs, and people are probably dying as they speak. But he doesn't know that he can go against him. Also, a level up! So, she is going for another level of Paladin, because, of course she is. She now gets Lay on Hands, which is a really useful Paladin ability, and Divine Grace, so she gets her Charisma bonus to saving throws. Guess what stat I'm going to up next for her. As far as Sam, he's going to continue on as an Inquisitor. Every other level as an Inquisitor, he gets an extra point of persuasion for the purposes of intimidation and perception checks. But also at level 2, he gets to add his wisdom modifier to his initiative checks. So he's going to fight faster. Or first in combat more often, I should say. Other than that, not much happens for him. And he is getting another point in all of his statistics. And he needs to pick another spell. Probably going to pick Remove Fear, just because when people are feared, it's really obnoxious. So, first of all, it lasts 10 minutes. It doesn't scale, but 10 minutes is a whole lot better than some of these that last like one round. And anybody who's under fear, when you cast it, that fear is suppressed. So, yeah, Remove Fear is useful. Let's see here. Ah, yes! The Shaman Spirit Hunter. At level 2, she gets a Hex. And the Hex that she gets is Ice Plant. Now, if I wanted to min-max, I could totally change that up. And, well, I'd still give her Ice Plant, but make her completely broken. But I'm not going to min-max, because I'm playing this for fun. And there we go. Now, for Lan, he is a monk archer, which is kind of ridiculous. He is a monk, but he shoots. He shoots many things very quickly. Oop, I'm going to stick with the longbow, because longbows deal much more damage than shortbows. And lastly, she is a fighter. She is also an archer, because you can never have enough archers in your team. And here is where we're stopping it. Oh, good lord. Here is where I'm stopping it for the night, because I don't want this to be another 40-minute video. Thank you for watching. Oh, he just praised the sun. Lan, can you do that again really quick? Praise the sun here. That'd be pretty cool. Come on. Okay, never mind. Not doing it again.
I'm all ears.
Maybe
Focus
if I
on the
move a
goal.
little bit. Also, this mod that lets you zoom in extra far is great. I mean, look at this detail. Even, way zoomed in. It still looks pretty good. It's not the first game where everything looked much more generic. You can definitely tell who people are, and this hat kicks ass. I love Sam's hat. Sam's hat is excellent. Okay, well, with that, have a wonderful day. I will see you guys later.